how God fights for wives in marriage. My name is Olusegun Mokuolu. There are women who feel very disadvantaged in marriage. They are being maltreated, they are suffering. And if you're a Christian woman, if you are born again, and this video is intended for you, Christian woman who is born again, you understand that the scripture says, wives, submit yourself to your own husband. Now you're asking yourself, this man is wicked, this man is maltreating me. I will be at a disadvantage, or I am at a disadvantage with this man. I want to say to you, you are not. When God asks you to do something, he will back you up. When God says submit to your own husband, God is going to back you up. You see, God always fights and defends the weak. When you are weak, God will help you. When you are strong, God cannot help you. That's why if there is a prayer you should be praying, it is that, Lord, help me to be weak so that your strength can be made perfect in me. I want to show you that God actually fights for the wife and defends the wife in a way no woman can fight or defend herself. Let's read Malachi chapter 2 from verse 13. He said, and this is the second thing you do. You cover the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping and crying. So he does not regard the offering anymore, nor receive it with goodwill from your hands. These were priests. These were pastors. These were Christians. These were men of God, so to say, that were maltreating their wife, but then they will carry animal to go and sacrifice to God. Suddenly they noticed that God was no longer accepting it. Their prayers were going unattended to, and they went to the altar. They were crying. Some men are crying in prayer meetings when they should actually be loving their wives at home. So that was what they were doing. And then they came to God, and then they were asking God, why? In verse 14, they said, you say, for what reason? And God now said to them, see, because the Lord has been witness between you and the wife of your youth. I need you to know that the witness between you and the wife of your youth are not those people who were there on your wedding day. It is God. And you must recognize that everything that is going on in your home, God is seeing it. That man is maltreating you. You don't know how to explain it to people. It's a long story. You suffered miserably. Where would you start? Is it from the verbal abuse? Is it from the manipulations? Is it the adultery? Is it using money to oppress you? Is it allowing family to insult you? Where do you want to start? But God sees everything. And somebody may say, oh, you are talking to the wife. What about the men? This video is focusing on how God defends the woman in marriage. There are other videos that has dealt with other issues. So please note that. Then he said to them, he said, I am the witness between you and the wife of your youth, whom you have dealt with treacherously. So God sees that wicked way that man is seeing you. Now look at it. Those women were probably at home. Those women were probably crying. But here is God defending them, fighting for them. Here is God speaking on their behalf, telling the men that I see the way you have been treating your wife, that it is not good. That's why I no longer hear your prayer. Look at that. Look at that. For God not to hear a man's prayer, that man is literally dead. He said, yet, she is your companion. This is God now explaining. I want to tell you as a woman, how many words do you want to use to talk to your husband? Allow God to do it. God is now telling the husbands. He said, she is your companion and your wife by covenant. So all those women you are chasing outside, you are wasting your life. And you are just coming under the wrath of God. That was what God was telling them. This one is your wife of covenant. It is only this one that I recognize. If you like, abandon her and go and marry another one. You are not going to be in my reckoning. This is the only woman I recognize. This is the covenant you've established. That's why we keep telling people that marriage is by covenant. Particularly kingdom marriage is a kingdom affair. Is a covenant affair. He said in verse 15, but did he not make them one, having a remnant of the spirit? And why one? He said, godly offspring. Therefore, take heed to your spirit, and let nobody deal treacherously with the wife of his youth. This is God telling the man not to maltreat his wife. How do you think those men will feel that day when they go home? And the wife said, dear, what is wrong? Say, dear, I'm very sorry. Say, dear, no problem. What's wrong? Say, God spoke to us today. all the way I've been treating you, God had revealed everything to me today. Let God defend you. In fact, let me read a scripture for you. Another one in 1 Peter. For you to see how serious this matter is in the hand of God, in the heart of God. Chapter 3 and verse 7. Look at what it says. Husbands, likewise, dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of God, that your prayers may not be hindered. God is saying, if you maltreat your wife, your prayers will be hindered. That is serious. That's a very serious issue. And this is God standing for the wife. So don't think because God says submit to yourself, you have been put at a disadvantage. No! God has positioned you to fight for you. The problem is many will not allow God to defend them. But I tell you, if you obey God, God will stand up for you. God will always defend you. I am Olusegun Mokuolu. God bless you.